everybody, this is Eric Martinez from Dynamic Duo Training.
And this is Chris Martinez, the one with the nicer eyebrows.
So, welcome back to our channel. We got a great video in store for you guys today. This is an outstanding topic and it's just really controversial. It's something that's been out in the fitness industry for a while now. You guys may have heard of this term, clean eating. Okay, I know that's floating around everywhere. I see it everywhere. I see it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I hear people talking about it. I really, at the end of the day, I don't know what the hell that means to eat clean. You know, I wish there was a definition. You know, I've looked for definitions on, you know, like dictionary.com. I've looked in a dictionary. There's no such thing as an answer for clean eating.
We've even looked on PubMed.
Yeah, I mean, so I would really like a good, precise definition to that. But let's throw that off right now. We'll come back to that in a minute. But this video is on a pre and post workout meal based on, is it a clean meal or is it a dirty meal? We're going to just talk about the differences between that, because people say that there is dirty foods, which in our opinion, there is absolutely no dirty foods. Okay?
I mean, how does a food even get dirty?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It must get like mud all over it or dust or something. So
some fine dirt.
Yeah. So pretty much though. Another thing I want to throw out. We went to the ISSN 2 years ago, the conference, and Susan Kleiner, really well-known person in the industry of nutrition, and she even went into detail about this topic about clean versus dirty eating foods. And to this date, there is no scientific research or data indicating that there is a quote-unquote clean food.
Or a definition or a term.
Nothing. So that's why I don't understand where this comes from. So we're going to get into that a little more. But before that, I mean, I guess if I have to clean my food off, I can use some all-purpose cleaner here.
I guess he can spray it and I'll scrub it
off.
I'll scrub off the dirty stuff on the food.
I mean, right here I have something. I can just spray the food and it'll be clean. So, okay.
Now, so we're not trying to be smart asses or anything like that. We're not. We're just trying to just, you know, throw some humor in here and make it funny. But, you know, the truth is like, I know there's a lot of people out there that quote unquote eat clean and they swear by it and they go by it. But, you know, it's not we're against like these people or nothing. It's just we don't see what the reason is for the term, you know, clean eating and dirty eating. I mean, there's no such thing. You know, it's almost like it's kind of like a little fad and a trend, you know, or like a little group or a cult that wants to just like stay on that side and be like, okay, I eat clean or dirty and I don't eat dirty, and all that rest of the people, you know, like forget them, right? You guys are better than those people. But no, you know, it's ridiculous, okay? And really just like with the whole thing about that is, you know, like there's no scientific research to back it up, you know, and that's the thing that like really bugs me the most is like there's no data to prove if a food is clean or dirty, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is two different meals, okay? And you can use these as pre-workouts or a post-workout meal, okay? And I'm going to just mainly hit on just the pre-workout on this part, okay? So the first meal we have is, okay, so this first meal what we have is we have a grilled chicken breast, we have brown rice pasta, and we have broccoli, okay? I don't know how much cleaner you can get on a pre-workout meal here, okay? It's pretty clean, right? Look at it, it's beautiful, it looks good. It's gonna taste good too, okay? So the second meal, you have a cookies and cream Pop-Tart, which is pretty tasty, I must say. Not my favorite, but one of the tastier ones out there. And you have a vanilla whey protein shake, okay? So that's an example of a pre-workout meal that's dirty, right? Okay, so now that we showed you two examples of a clean meal and a dirty meal for a pre-workout meal, okay? We're going to hop into, you know, some different controversial things on, you know, what are some pros and cons about this whole clean and dirty eating as far as pre-workouts, and we're going to tell you, you know, exactly what you guys want to hear about the benefits of having like a clean food or a dirty food pre-workout, okay? And let's just knock off all the whole clean eating terms and let's start using the word healthy eating. Let's start using whole foods, minimally refined foods. So let's get that clean eating out of your guys' vocabulary. All right.
Okay guys, so we brought out the drawing board right now just to show you guys we're going to make some different points about the clean versus dirty eating, and especially on the examples we use with the foods. And before we get into this, I just want to touch up on those last two meals that we showed. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm sure you're going to be sitting there making your first assumption and say, oh, I'm going to go with the clean meal, which was the chicken, whole wheat pasta, and the veggies, as opposed to the Pop-Tart and protein shake. Why? Why are you guys going to choose that? Because it looks more appealing. It looks like
cleaner.
it looks cleaner, and it looks like it's going to be healthy. It's not going to, it's not loaded with sugar. It's not loaded with processed carbs. All that good stuff. So I just want to touch up on that point, but we're going to break it down to you guys and show you guys why it's not a big deal. Okay? So what we'll start off with is the energy levels. So go for it.
Okay. So guys, remember, keep in mind those specific meals that we showed you guys when we talk about this, okay? So we have the clean side, you have the dirty side. Everything that's in the middle right here means that it depends, okay? So, for example, energy levels, right? Okay, so with the Pop-Tart and the protein shake, that is going to have a quicker spike of energy, a burst of energy in there, okay? Because it's going to it has a lot of sugar in there, and glucose is going to be spiked really, really quick from the Pop-Tart, okay? So as opposed to the clean meal, right? The chicken with the pasta, you're going to have sufficient energy levels with that, but it's not going to be very quick. It's going to be more of like a slow, sustainable energy throughout your guys' workout, right? As opposed to high and then coming down with a Pop-Tart. Okay, so remember that, okay? When you guys choose between a clean meal and a dirty meal for pre-workout, do you guys want the quick spike in energy and sugar, or do you guys want the slower, sustainable energy source, okay? And that goes in, and we tie it in with slow carbs versus fast carbs. The dirty meal with the Pop-Tart, okay? That's a fast carb, right? It's a simple carbohydrate because it's got a lot of sugar in there, okay? The clean meal, you have broccoli, and then you have a starch source, which is the pasta, okay? So it's a complex carb. It's going to be a slow time release glucose into your guys' bloodstream throughout your guys' workout, okay? As opposed to very fast and rapid with the sugar spike with the fast carbs, okay? All right, so let's break it down to schedule. Everyone has a schedule, okay? Some people have busy days, short days, someone's on the go. So that's huge. It's a big variable. So if you're going to have a longer workout, your workout's going to take more than an hour, absolutely, go for the clean meal, okay? Because like Chris said, it has more complex carbs in it, so it's going to take longer for your body to digest all those carbs, all those nutrients, and it's going to help you more throughout your workout. It's going to give you more optimal performance throughout that longer workout, as opposed to a shorter workout, which would be a HIIT cardio session, or maybe like a metabolic circuit training session that's going to be like 30 to 45 minutes, okay? So why not go with the quote-unquote dirty meal, get those simple carbs in there, get that quick spike of energy, and that's that. Yeah, so with this segment, it just goes to show, don't write off the dirty meal right away, okay? Because it depends, okay? A lot of stuff depends, okay? Always remember that, it depends. Remember those two words, it depends. So it depends, your energy levels. It depends on your schedule, it depends on your workouts, okay? Just remember that. Okay guys, so in this third segment we're going to hit on some really key points that we think is very important to top off this video about clean and dirty pre and post workout meals, okay? So insulin sensitivity. A lot of people probably think that you can't sit there and have a quote unquote dirty meal pre or post workout, right? But that's actually opposite. Insulin sensitivity is very high pre and post workout, okay? Your body can regulate glucose a lot better at those times than other times of the day. So yes, absolutely, you can have some quote-unquote dirty foods, okay? You guys can have a Pop-Tart, a Reese's Cup. You can even have it with some complex carbs too. So, don't be afraid to sit there and have a quote-unquote dirty meal pre or post-workout. We actually advocate that to our clients. If they have a sweet tooth or something like that, have it pre or post-workout. Your body's going to regulate it a lot better. All right, let's move on to satiety levels. So,
you want to be full, right? I mean, you want to feel like you're satisfied after one of these meals, and you want it to last, okay, throughout the workout. So, I mean, which one do you think is going to increase your satiety levels more? Obviously, the clean meal, because of the complex carbs, high fibrous veggies, all that stuff. Okay, it's gonna leave you fuller for a longer period of time, as opposed to the quote-unquote dirty meal. You're gonna get that quick insulin spike, and that's that. It's gonna just break down in your body really, really fast due to the simple carbs, and you'll probably be hungry within the next hour, as opposed to the clean meal, loaded with complex carbs. It's gonna keep your satiety levels higher for longer.
Yeah, and just keep in mind with the satiety levels, what we talked about in the last segment about your schedule, okay? How long is your workout? So play around with satiety levels and schedule when it comes to finding a meal.
Yeah, it's a huge factor, guys.
Yeah. All right, so next one, activity levels. Okay, so this depends. Like, are you an athlete? Are you, just like, kind of like sedentary? You maybe work out 2 times a week for maybe about an hour. Are you advanced where you're working out 10 to 12 hours a week? Are you sitting at a desk all day? Are you working like in construction during work? I mean, that's a huge. It's really important. Your activity levels plays a lot in this. Okay, so if you're very active, do not be afraid to sit there and have that quote-unquote dirty meal pre or post workout. Okay, if you're more on the sedentary side, where you're only working out maybe about 2 hours a week or something like that. I don't know, you just got to be careful and just see how your body reacts to it, see if your weight fluctuates or not. Just see how your body reacts because, again, it ties into insulin sensitive. Your body can regulate it better at that time, but again, it goes back to you're not that active, compared to an athlete or an advanced person in the gym. So just be really wary about that one.
All right, so next bullet point, metabolic capacity, something that we preach over and over and over, and we've discussed in prior videos. Okay, let's use this example. Let's say you're dieting down for a show, okay? Your metabolic capacity is getting to that point where it's just getting low. Your carb intake, your fat intake is getting to that point where it's really low, okay? So if you're gonna play it smart, you're gonna go with the clean meal because you don't have enough metabolic capacity to afford to have one of those dirty meals. You just don't, and it's just really not the most wise thing to do in your situation. Now, let's use another example. If you're doing a reverse diet, you're trying to build upon your metabolic capacity, you have enough metabolic capacity, your carb intake, your fat intake's at a high level. I mean, why not have some non-traditional foods that are quote-unquote dirty? That's just, why wouldn't you? You can't sit there and eat a bunch of clean foods throughout the day. It's not optimal, it's just all that fiber and stuff in your GI tract, it can be counterproductive, okay? So you need to fit in some of those non-traditional foods that are quote-unquote dirty.
And personally, if I was reverse dieting right now, I would have that clean meal and I would have that Pop-Tart with it.
Exactly.
A nice little mixture like that. I love that. That's like
nice
my
little balance.
That's my go-to. All right, so last point, digestion and preferences, okay? So you got to think about too your personal preferences. You got to think about how your digestive tract works, because you could even just do a little experiment. See, which foods have the clean food one day, have the dirty food the other day, and have them both like an hour before your workout, and just see which one your body digests better. Let's say you have the clean meal. Maybe that's gonna digest faster than you really thought, just because your digestive tract's quick. Okay. Maybe that Pop-Tart's going to really give you that energy and that boost to go in there and get a hard workout in, okay? So just play around with the foods, and play around with the hours before your guys' training sessions, Some people can have a meal 30 minutes before they go train. Some people can do it in an hour. Some people need 2 hours for their food to digest, okay? So take that into consideration about your digestive tract, your preferences, how long you space out your pre-workout meals before your workouts, okay? Okay, so we forgot one point, okay? One of the most important points about everything that goes in with this video and everything that we talked about is hit your macros, okay? Hit your macros at the end of the day and everything will work out itself, okay? I mean, you guys can have these clean foods and dirty foods mixed, okay? And it ties back into, metabolic capacity, okay? That's really what it comes down to. If you have the metabolic capacity and you have a lot of, macronutrients to work with as far as carbs and fats, then go ahead and have some non-traditional foods. Have some clean and dirty foods mixed, okay? If you're dieting, lean more on the cleaner side of foods, right? Because, you don't have the metabolic capacity to have those non-traditional foods, okay? But, again, at the end of the day, you hit your macros, okay? You hit your macros, you get your fiber goal in, and everything will be smooth sailing, okay? Alright guys, so this is pretty much the conclusion of the video. We hope this actually helped you guys out and gave you guys a good clarification between the false indication of a dirty and a clean food, okay? Like we said before, we're not trying to be assholes or, arrogant or just being dumb about it. We're just trying to put out some really good information out there and kind of stop down all this, BS talk about all these trends out here and pretty much, guru and bro science stuff, right? So
all that tilapia and asparagus stuff.
just, the whole clean and dirty eating stuff is just, there's no such thing. There's no science behind it. There's no scientific term or definition of it. So it's kind of like, why sit there and use it? Why? Let's just stick to what we know and leave the other trends and stuff for somebody else, okay? But, just to end it with the clean and the dirty foods, the biggest thing is, hit your macros at the end of the day, okay? And that's all going to depend on everybody's dose dependent with their metabolic capacity, what their goals are, what their macronutrient ratios and profiles are, okay? Include flexible dieting, which allows you to have, some of those non-traditional and dirty foods with those clean foods that you normally have, and hit your macros at the end of the day.
Yeah, and just to add to that point, like Chris said, you really just have to go back to looking at what does the research and the data say. There's nothing to it. There's nothing that proves a clean and dirty food. So, do you really think that science cares about your biased opinion on this? You think the data cares about your biased opinion on a clean and dirty food? It doesn't, it really doesn't, okay? So, like we said, stick to the little tips that we gave you, and there's just absolutely no reason to spray this on your foods. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. Visit us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, IG, all that good stuff. Peace, guys.